The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child recognizes education as a legal right for every child. Yet, education remains a privilege to many. UNESCO reports show that 244 million children and youth between the ages of 6 and 18 worldwide were still missing out on schools in 2021. On that total, more than 118 million were girls. In developing low-income countries, for example, there is a projected 10% increase in a person's future if that person goes to school. Education helps to eradicate poverty and hunger, giving people the chance at a better life. This is one of the biggest reasons why parents strive to make their children attend school as long as possible. It is also why nations work towards promoting easier access to education for children. Good afternoon, blessed people. Welcome to Topics and Realities, your Saturday afternoon talk show program over Royal 88.4 FM. Topics and Realities comes up every Saturday as from 4 p.m. right up to 5:55 p.m. And in Topics and Realities today, we capture the topics, we treat the topics which are experts, and we make them a reality in our life. Topics and Realities today, who as main topic, we are going to talk about evaluating the Cameroon educational system, which is with the fundamental question this afternoon: how can we make our education better? The questions, these questions and more will be seeking answer from you, the listeners of Royal 88.4 FM, as well experts in the studio. At the beginning of the program, we are going to have a press review, what has been making news in Cameroon, Africa, and the world. As reported by the print media. Through our press review, we are also going to talk about the mutual assistance and solidarity, tell you all that you need to know when it comes to African solidarity. Your participation in the program through our number 671-157321, 671-15 page UIFM Cameroon. Topics and Realities, a production of the English service of Royal 88.4 FM under the coordination of our own Director General, Jean Patient Tsala, who is the Director General of Royal 88.4 FM. General supervision is done this afternoon by Reverend Pastor Bisai Emmanuel Noy. For presentation, just call me the moderator. My name is Abel Bela Samari. I am the son of Duncan, and I will be right back after this piece of gospel music.
That's why I worship. Your glory never ends. Your mercies are new every morning. Believe in what of God. That's why I worship your name forever. I worship your name.
Together, we can overcome poverty. Hand in hand, we can contribute in building a better, prosperous Cameroon for African solidarity.
I have been at the Mamu hospital so many times. This hospital have really helped me with their 35% discount and treatment of up to 10%. Sickness in my family is not a thing to worry about.
It's not easy to see somebody removing his taxi and give you like that, and then he follows you up again to see that you are able to cope and balance the money for the taxi. But what I'm seeing here is quite encouraging.
I'm very grateful, first of all, to the God Almighty that has given me the opportunity to have this house.
At the time that I want that money, at the time that I was having a problem with my children, that I left to Boya for coming here. Because of the responsibility of the children, the store was collapsing. So when I take the money, it helped me to boost the store to defend the family responsibility that I had in Boya.
I've won 10 million francs CFA in MASO after it. I'm very, very happy. With the money, I'm going to further my projects abroad.
With MASO, the African values have all its meaning for the fulfillment and happiness of all and everyone.
At MASO, we simply live our African values.
Ensemble, nous pouvons vaincre la pauvreté. Main dans la main, nous contribuons à construire un Cameroun meilleur pour une Afrique prospère et solidaire.
Venez de gagner un taxi. Je suis très fier, je suis ému. J'ai convoité ce taxi au moins 3 ans et le Seigneur a fait que je gagne ça aujourd'hui.
Quand mon fils est décédé, je n'ai pas tardé à réfléchir. Je fais la mutuelle. Je peux avoir l'aide. Elle me dit 150 000 aides de madame. J'ai été vraiment très émue puisque je ne m'attendais pas à ça. J'étais dépassée. La mutuelle, je vous remercie beaucoup.
J'ai compris que ce qu'on raconte ici à la radio tous les jours concernant la mamie, c'est une réalité.
Lorsque j'ai été hospitalisé ici, j'ai vu les agents de nettoyage commencer le travail avant 6 heures. Et puis à 9 heures, les ai vus nettoyer à nouveau. Pour moi, c'est impeccable.
Aujourd'hui, je suis propriétaire d'une maison. Je ne peux qu'être heureuse en ce jour. MASO, c'est du réel, c'est du concret. Et je suis la preuve vivante aujourd'hui que MASO, c'est pas la blague.
Je suis content parce que je viens de gagner une moto. C'est pour mes activités personnelles et pour ma famille.
Avec la MASO, les valeurs africaines ont tout leur sens pour l'épanouissement et le bonheur de tous et de chacun.
À la MASO, vivons simplement nos valeurs africaines.
We want to thank you very much, Irish Kimwe, for that piece of music that permitted us to talk about the mutual assistance and solidarity. Masola, you got it there from the different testimony. Act 4 of the mutual assistance and solidarity, Maso, is ongoing. Ongoing the different agencies of Renapo Finance SA. We have 27 of such agencies in Cameroon, 13 of them in the capital city Yaoundé. Just go to any Renapo Finance SA agency and talks about the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO. Somebody will be able to explain MASO actually has been able to move man from the shackle of poverty. The testimony from the different protagonists, it is very clear. And we also move up to Act 2. Becoming a member of the mutual assistance and solidarity you stands to benefit both the natural advantages which is aligned to every member of the mutual assistance and solidarity, or what we call the secondary advantages which pass through a raffle draw ceremony that will take place obviously which is always on the 9th of July, and this Act 4 will not be different, and it will take place at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex. But there you can also benefit through the raffle draw. You can also benefit finances through school fees loan for your children in the primary, secondary, and university, home and abroad. We can equally benefit from small and medium-sized enterprises. That is finances for you to be able to finance your different projects of the small and medium-sized enterprises, those of the small economy, those of the low-income earners, those of the agricultural sector. You stand a chance to benefit from this. You can also benefit a house for habitation, a building for your commercial activities, and so forth and so on. That turns to the mutual assistance and solidarity. You can equally benefit automobile be through the raffle draw ceremony. We are talking about motor, we are talking about motorcycles, tricycles, taxi, private car, picnics, yes, buses to mutualists. That is through the raffle draw ceremony. You can equally benefit from household equipment, income generating activities like a refrigerator for glassified juice, like the grinding machines, like the ice cream machines, like the popcorn machines, like a complete computer set, plus photocopy for you to be able to run member of the mutual assistance and solidarity, the opportunity to benefit directly. But you can equally benefit directly when you are a member of the mutual assistance and solidarity. We have our natural advantages which is destined to all mutualists. The first is that if you are a mutualist, you have between 3 years to 5 years of mutualism and you want to get married, the mutual assistance and solidarity give you 150,000 francs CFA to accompany you organize a wedding ceremony. We all need the power, the force become reduced. You need to go for retirement with all the knowledge, with all the experience you have gathered. The 5 million francs CFA will be able to permit you reconvert yourself into our society, be able to have the little that you can do to continue to maintain yourself health-wise, and through this health-wise you can continue to pass in the experience you have gathered so far to the younger generation. That is what the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO is all about. You know, we don't have a veritable OH policy for our people who go for retirement. The mutual assistance and solidarity think about them and talking about the health where you can treat up to 10 members of your family to a 35% discount at the Mammoth Hospital complex. This is also another opportunity that the mutual assistance and solidarity is coming up with, the importance of health where we through a good health you can be able to carry out a lot of activities. Those are some of the natural advantages of becoming a member of the mutual assistance and solidarity. With the Bisai University complex which has been opened at Carrefour Garage des Chevaux just beside the presidential gate. If you leave from Coron, you are going up after the presidential guard, you see the Garage des Chevaux. You see a very big building where it carries the Bisai University Institute. There you equally have the opportunity to benefit 20%. If you are a student, you can equally benefit. If you are a parent and you are a mutualist, your children going to the Bisai University Institute stands the opportunity to benefit up to 20% of their school fees, and that will be done live in the school campus before the start of the school year. So if you're a mutualist, there are so other advantages. And using the opportunity to talk about the Bisai University Institute, don't say yours is finished. If you have advanced level, if you have even your ordinary level certificate, they give you the opportunity to even carry out professional training, or better still vocational training at the Bisai University Institute. If you have your advanced level, you can register yourself into the bachelor's or the BTS cycles, as well as the bachelor's cycles. The master level is also created at the Bisai University Institute, where you can be able to obtain your certificates, because there we have 80% of practicals and 20% of theory. Those the different subjects or the different specialty offered at the Bisai University Institute. We have banking and finance. We equally have business and management. We have audit control and management. You have all that economic, and it is based on what we call the ideology of African solidarity economy. And equally, if you are a journalist, you aspire to become a journalist, the institute also offer communication where you can have journalism, animation, you can have audiovisual studies, photography, you can have corporate communication, on how to even carry out what we call mise en non in French. Those are some of the offers that the Bisai University Institute is also giving out to mutualists and to members of the public, for them to be able to acquire sound education, because through this facility. Remember that the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO is built on the African spirit of solidarity and assistance.
Their backs towards us. Now, talking about MASO, Abel, when I am talking about MASO, I talk with all conviction, because I'm a living witness of MASO. I am even an ambassador of MASO, because I believe from the first day I heard about MASO, and then I went closer to it and I saw how people's lives were being changed to the tune of millions, 50 million, 20 million, 10 million, 5 million, coming down vehicles, houses, sets of chairs, grinding machine, popcorn machines, and all those things. I saw lucky winners, and I've seen how their lives have been changed. I am using the opportunity to tell everybody listening to us that MASO is real.
Yeah.
And you know, I will always call on this my colleagues of the lay private and private sector of education in Cameroon to stop complaining about the treatment, the ill treatment we are getting from proprietors of schools, but to just sacrifice 100 francs every day into MASO, 26,000 francs every year, and who knows, your life can change. Your life can change at the twinkle of an eye. So before I end, Abel, I want to plead with the Reverend Pastor Emmanuel Bisai that we have thousands of teachers. Those I'm talking about, first the lay private and private school teachers in the city of Yaoundé and other towns, who crave a lot because they still receive salaries as low as 40,000 and they pay them 9 months. They stop paying them in May, and from June, July, August, you owe house rent. And when schools are going back, the teachers themselves cannot even put their children to school or buy books. So I'm appealing that maybe if MASO were to think of something, a pool of teachers or something for them, so that they can come together, and also, because it's so difficult, it's easier with drivers because they have their syndicates, but with us teachers,
the teachers don't have a syndicate.
No, the lay private school teachers and the private school teachers, it's very difficult to bring them under a syndicate because in one school they are well treated, in another school they are maltreated.
Okay,
you see, it's very difficult. There is no day they will call for a strike action and you will see us in the lay private sector coming out, because you sign a contract one-on-one with somebody. If the person is respecting what you said in the contract, even with other abuses, we just close an eye, because you may not join. There is no way teachers in Cameroon can speak with one voice, because government separated them like that. Okay. Government decided to separate them so that they cannot speak with one voice. But I'm saying that MASO can use that opportunity to bring them together.
We are going to work on that.
So that we also have the pool of teachers, we have communicators who communicate on that, and teachers come in their message. They are there and they are really in misery.
That is why we talk about
we
African
need to change their lives.
We talk about African solidarity.
Yes, they need to benefit
and
from
all
the
of
solidarity.
Us, they need to benefit, and we know the roles that teachers do play. And that if we are back to school, we are going to be talking about teachers in the edition. Thank you very much, John Niba.
Thank you.
I know what you have been doing. Seminars or times you always say we should come and educate the teachers. And
the seminars will soon begin, so we'll be there together.
Some are responding, some are seeing the importance to adhere to the vision of the solidarity, that is the vision of the mutual assistance and solidarity mass. So we'll work more this year. We'll see what we can do, because our mission is to see how we can remove man from the shackle of poverty through the mutual assistance and solidarity.
And removing the teacher from the shackle of poverty is removing all men, because when the teacher is not comfortable, the whole society is affected.
Okay, thank you. We'll work on that seriously. I promise. I remember Fairwell says that, Abel, if teachers were eating not a bitter leaf, you could. No, I'm a retired teacher.
That first teachers used to eat ndole, but now there's no money for the groundnuts. Now they just go for bitter leaf. And bitter leaf in Yaoundé is so expensive now that we just
no longer eat it again. No,
you know, somebody said you eat and you see your image in the soup. You can imagine. The thing is clear.
We are going to thank you very much for coming with you. We are going to talk about the back to school period, because schools are starting on Monday. We'll be looking at all that, how to better the life, or how to better our Cameroon educational system. And we cannot talk about bettering our Cameroon educational system without talking about the fundamental players, that is the teachers, the students, and all the like. We got opportunity, we'll find out solution of what we have to do. Let me also use the opportunity to welcome other teachers who are also here with us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Shey Lambert.
Good afternoon, Mr.
You are treated very well in your own school.
Good afternoon, Mr. Beda.
Yeah.
And good afternoon to my co-panel just gone through right now.
Oh.
And that is the reason why I am late here. Can you imagine the road linking Post Central That's the main town, with other towns like Terminus, with other areas like Terminus, Kwabang, has been blocked on both sides. Why have they blocked this route? Because somebody is dead and they're doing they're organizing a funeral ceremony, and they blocked a main road. The worst of all is that pedestrians are not even allowed to pass. Can you imagine? I had to enter in a quarter I do not have a good mastery just to find my way out. So I spent almost 30 minutes in a quarter I don't know. Just imagine I got robbed.
Okay.
It is very bad. I don't know why authorities will give.
That person is a very important person.
An organization. There are areas. There is a multipurpose complex.
My voice to what he's saying.
There's a multipurpose complex at the.
We have always seen people signing papers say trouble à l'ordre public, but it is common behavior to see how roads are just blocked, tents are mounted on the road, and then you come. I face just now as he's talking. I passed through Carrefour Itek, right? To leave Carrefour Angisa and come down to Carrefour Itek is blocked. God. And there is traffic jam right down to Marché Vogada.
Just imagine
everywhere there.
Just imagine blocking the road linking Carrefour Itek.
Family is celebrating something that is private. Means that a family cannot go to a football field, they cannot rent a hall, they cannot do in their family compound. And that one, I've always considered it as trouble à l'ordre public.
They have the capacity, not only blocking just one side of the road, they are blocking.
They block everything.
That is very bad.
Okay.
I don't know why an authority will be giving such an authorization for somebody to carry out this activity. We have a multipurpose complex that you can go there and carry out such type of sales.
We got you listed. The voice of the teacher is the voice of the society. Is that it?
Now, gone are those days where teachers to dictate. Now teachers spur knowledge.
Okay.
They spur knowledge and then they also listen.
Thank you very much.
I wish to say that you asked me a question if I am being well treated.
Yes.
And I don't think there is any private school teacher who will come here and happily tell you that he is somehow well treated, because in the society in which we live in, is either you have a timetable, especially I'm talking mostly with the private sector because that's where I belong to.
Yeah.
At the moment you have either a timetable issue which is not favorable and trying to prevent you to work in another school, or the salary is...
He's a secondary school teacher.
Yeah, the salary...
When you talk about timetable preventing journey by just...
Is miserable, I want to say. I'm sorry, because in our days, in the 21st century, they pay a primary school teacher 40,000 francs,
and they pay 9 months, not even the whole year.
What's that? That's very bad. I wish to say that in our society, we are still very much backward. We are still very backward.
Let's take this publicity. Back to school 2023-2024. Welcome to Bisai University Institute. Thanks to its transdiscipline and experimental approach, which combine training and competence, benefit from our studies and training programs backed by 80% of practice within all the enterprises of Gubrenapo Finance SA and 20% of theory, in order to enable you better equip and to become a true pillar capable of providing added values in the professional environment. At the Bisai University Institute, mutualists who are students or parents who are mutualists with the mutual assistance and solidarity will benefit from a 20% discount. The number of places per specialty is limited. Opening date October 16, 2023 at our campus located at Garage des Chevaux near the Presidential Guard in Yaoundé. Contact us at 693-930231. Bisai University Institute, simply created for your well-being.
Rentrée académique 2023-2024, bienvenue à l'Institut universitaire Bisai. Son approche transdisciplinaire et espérentielle qui commande formation et compétences. Bénéficiez de nos programmes d'études et de formation adossés à 80% de pratique au sein de toutes les entreprises du groupe Renapro Finance SA et de 20% de théorie afin de vous permettre d'être mieux outillés et de devenir un véritable pilier capable d'apporter de la valeur ajoutée dans le milieu professionnel. Les étudiants mutualistes ou parents de mutualistes de la MASO bénéficient d'une réduction de 20%. Le nombre de places par spécialité est limité. Rentrée académique le lundi 16 octobre 2023 au campus Garage 2 Chevaux à proximité de la gare présidentielle à Yaoundé. Contactez-nous au 693 93 02 31. L'Institut universitaire Bissaï, créé tout simplement pour votre savoir-être.
Yeah, thank you so very much. And also joining us is Pastor Agbo Masha. He's here with us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Marshal.
Good afternoon, Abel. Good afternoon to my co-panelist, the big brains.
This Shea Lambert.
Exactly, the
I
Shea
forgot
Lambert.
to say that he's a youth leader,
and,
equally.
The famous John Neba.
And one of the future elites of Noni.
Wow,
maybe
that's great. Anaba, just
elite.
permit me to finish with the greeting process.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes,
I know where you will end.
Dear listeners, greetings to our sound technician.
Yeah.
And greetings, special greetings indeed, to Reverend Pastor Emmanuel Noel Bissai.
Okay.
That's where I end.
Yeah,
and you know that already.
Solidarity the call.
Solidarity the call. Very
Pastor
important.
Greeting, Pastor.
Very important.
No comment. I receive it on his behalf. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming this afternoon. Without wasting more time, we are going to comment on what has been making news in Cameroon, Africa, and the world, passing through what has been reported, especially by the print media. Our own Evans William Jobati collected some news items for us and put together the different headlines from the papers in the following report or press review. Good afternoon to you, Evans.
Good afternoon, Abel. Good afternoon to all your guests with you and to your so many listeners as well as followers of the program Topics and Realities. We start this edition of the press review with me, Evans Williams Jobati, with newspapers on Monday. Cameroon Insider concentrates on the back-to-school process as more traffic is being observed in towns and cities in Cameroon, while the Guardian Post says Anglophone clergy have organized different crusades for effective school resumption in the northwest and southwest regions. Looking at Cameroon Tribune, it highlights on the new platform created for online visa as it has gone operational. As for Volcanic Times, rather talks on the philanthropic FACO project to light up Tico, which has recorded groundbreaking support. Innovation rather talks about recruitment of 2,000 elite commandos launched by the Ministry of Defense. On Wednesday, L'Économie newspaper, which states Congécam défie le Min-Santé. Echo Matin rather features the military coup in Libreville against the Bongo regime. The Guardian Post talks on the list of 24 players selected by head coach Rigobert Song to play against Burundi on September 12. La Voix des Jeunes shows goalkeeper André Onana's image saying Vriendratil. Afrique Performance concentrates on the crisis in the Fekavole, saying President Paul Biya demands respect of judicial decisions. And on Friday, L'Info Asho revisits the military overthrow of Ali Bongo in Gabon, saying that the ex-president's daughter has now praised the gesture from the junta regime. Cameroon Tribune on the issue says the Cameroonian government rather condemns the action. Other newspapers like Le Jour focuses on the state of living at the Cameroon-Gabon border. And last but not the least, the Guardian Post from pages Asila Angus Eves, who is said to be killed by separatist fighters, as said by the police commissioner in Bamda. Abel, that's all for today's edition of the press review. I was Evans Williams Jobati, wishing you a splendid weekend and next Saturday.
Thank you very much, Evans William Jobati. Let me begin with you, John Neba. What caught your attention this week?
Yeah, what caught my attention is that the press review said nothing about back to school, and it is strange. The paper spoke much about school manuals, suspension of schools,
Perhaps we remove
Hustling
that one
and
because we
buzzing
know
in
that is the
school.
main topic, and that's what we are going to be discussing in this edition.
Okay, if you say so. Now, I want to go back to effective resumption of schools in the northwest and southwest regions. One paper reported that the cause is being championed by the clergy, and I think it is a good cause. As a teacher, I am a teacher because I went to school, and all of us can sit here and talk because we went to school.
Yeah.
It is true that some professors and other big people, they go to TV and radio stations and they struggle to prove that the northwest and southwest person did not know the value or does not know the value of education, and that is why they decided to involve schools or school boycotts in the conflict. But let me say that before the conflict, those regions have always topped the list, especially the northwest, when it came to official exams results in this country. The parents there have always been the one constructing buildings, donating cement, removing sand, building schools, because they understood the worth or the value of education. But now, the strategy was that, thinking that a government that reasons will not allow its education to be tampered with, those who championed the cause of the Anglophone problem thought that grounding schools was going to make government to move an inch to look into the problem.
Can we take about it in a main topic?
And now,
because those are some of the
and
things
now
that we
I
need
am
to talk.
telling them that
Yeah.
that strategy did not work and will not work.
Okay.
So school children are innocent. That strategy did not work. If it was supposed to work, it would have worked since 2016. Those who are still calling on school boycott, please use another strategy. Allowed children to go to school. They are innocent.
Okay.
They
It's
should
their
not.
fundamental right.
They should not be mixed into adult issues
and adult politics.
And those children, anybody who is stopping a child from going to school, either by action or by manipulation, know that that child is a future bomb. And whatever thing you do, even those who have left the regions, who have sent their children out of the regions and they are schooling elsewhere, and you think that you can now deceive the other people not to send their children to school, I'm saying that even that your own who is going to school today will not be safe in the hands of those who are blocked from going to school tomorrow. Any child who did not go to school is a wild animal, and wild animals are not supposed to live among people. So give the opportunity. Let those who still have good school going age, those who can go to adult school, they should go to school. And I want to thank the clergy for doing that, because if the elites of the Northwest, they go home to campaign for back to school, they will just be putting their things. They have been seen like traitors, and so they can allow the clergy to do the work. Maybe the traditional rulers, those who still carry some respect, because there are also some of them who cannot even stand and look at their people in the face to talk. Then I also plead with the leaders who are out of the country. All of them are doctors. When you listen to the name Doctor this, Professor that, they are excelling wherever they are because they went to school. Please talk to the guys on the ground. Let them allow children to go to school. The strategy of school boycott is no longer working. Thank you very much. I'm talking like a teacher now and a parent too.
What other issue caught your attention?
The next issue is Congelcam, the ping pong between Congelcam and the Minister of Health, where the Minister of Health is like, telling Congelcam that your products, they don't respect the norms, you import products. You see, the minister is like crying in front of the senator, maybe appealing to the conscience of the senator to look into the quality. And the senator is coming out to tell the minister that, Minister, you are a liar. My products are very okay. It is not today we started complaining and crying about Congelcam. It's common knowledge people who buy fish know that there is some fish that they tell you that if you want this one, it is of a certain quantity, you can pay less. We have even seen somewhere, I think it was somewhere in the central region here, where the regional delegation for livestock and fisheries seized rotten fish and presented. And Konjekam came out to say that no, it was not their fish, it's sabotage. And each time they call it sabotage. I think Cameroon government cannot sabotage Konjekam for the simple reason that to allow a whole market like the fish market to Konjekam, that is a lot of respect and the way you can support a businessman to grow. You know, in economy, those who did economics, when you import, you don't retail. But Konjekam imports and still has sales places where they still do retailing. Cameroon government has given them all the privileges, and they should not start shouting because the minister represents the Cameroon government.
Okay.
And as a senator, let Konjekam stop seeing it as sabotage. Okay. There is something actually wrong. It started with this Douala seaport, with the ping pong. But now, when a minister is crying, that is my problem. We don't have laws in this country. They toy with the lives of Cameroon. Are they afraid of the senator? But I think the senator is not above the nation, and money is not above the citizens. We are the consumers of fish. If Konjekam brings in poor quality fish and we die, who will still buy the fish? So please, Mr. Konjekam, protect your customers by supplying us with goods.
Thank you very much.
Arguing the Minister of Public Health because the minister is doing his role. But I'm afraid that maybe government is now weak and some people are stronger than state institution. If not, we don't have to appeal. We don't have. No, I'm talking about Cameroon. We don't have to appeal. We don't have to appeal.
The government.
We don't have to beg him. We have to take
and the minister
action.
have not told you that it has ended, huh?
I'm not saying that the minister said it. I'm saying that it should not be like a game. No, you are doing this and Konjekam will say I'm not doing this. Action should be taken. We want to see forces of law and order taking action.
Is that all?
Well, you want me to talk about Ali Bongo because it came out in the papers. The military takeover in Gabon. Well, a funny military takeover. I listened to.
You say it's funny?
I listened to Professor Ondo, the one who is supposed to have won the elections, saying that normally it was some sort of
a plot,
a stage.
Okay.
That they are staging something. A drama. Because it seems as if the president of Gabon realized that he lost the elections through the ballot box and hurriedly decided to bring in his cousin to take over. I was almost.
Some schools of thought said they are not cousins.
I was almost tempted to believe it until when I watched videos of the search orchestrated in different homes, involving even the son of Bongo and other people very close to Bongo, with billions of CFA francs exposed. And I wanted to think that maybe it's called Ondo who? There's another name. Yeah, Ondo Osa maybe make a mistake. Because if that is the way, it is true that when a junta comes in, since they are not covered by any international law, no home-based laws, they try to please the population to stand up and protect them. Because at one moment you start hearing the population saying that in order to get, before you get to them,
who do you think,
you must pass through us.
Who do you think masterminded the drama? Is this for the advantage of
No, I'm beginning to think that it was not the drama. I am beginning to think that Bongo is responsible for it. For first of all, cutting internet and declaring results by 3 a.m. in the night. That is witchcraft. In Gabon, by 3 a.m. they are sleeping.
Yeah.
You cannot declare results so that the people will only get up in the morning and hear that you are the next president. After you first of all cut the internet for 2 days, and after you equally suspended the national radio from giving out any information, the people now were kept in the dark. And if you put off the lights in a room where there are people, it means that you are planning something evil. So I think President Ali Bongo masterminded what is happening.
Why was he calling that people should make noise?
No, he has the right to call for people to make noise. You cannot beat a child and hold him out.
Okay.
So if that was all what
but
he
if
had,
he's the one beating himself, then he needs not to be crying.
No, he may beat himself without knowing. When he was cutting internet, he did not know the impact. When he was tampering with communication, he did not know. Now that he is seeing the impact, he's asking for noise. Know that even if we catch the highest armed robber, there are still people who beg on behalf of that armed robber.
It shows coup d'etat. Any danger to Central Africa?
No,
any message?
No danger. Those are positive dangers.
Okay.
I think those are positive risks to take, because when you see what the junta just did, within the few days they have been there, I think it is for the good of the Gabonese.
Okay.
And it is instead making some old dictators to adjust. And I tell them that adjusting is of no use. Appointing military officials, removing generals and putting others is of no use. Try to satisfy the aspiration of the people.
Okay.
Check whether there is health, education, basic commodities. Are they affordable? Are there good roads? Is there electricity? Do we have drinking water? Before you start removing and putting generals. Because those generals have family members. At one moment they will also tend to think that the future of their grandsons and daughters is in jeopardy if they keep on keeping you there.
Thank you very much, John Niba.
So I think it is a very good. I'm not for military takeovers.
Yeah.
And I'm not equally for constitutional coup d'etats where you keep on tampering with the constitution to remain in power, or you keep on tampering with the electoral system, coming out with electoral code that does not give equal opportunities to all the candidates.
Okay.
When you do that, that is already a coup d'etat. So I'm not for any of the two.
Okay. I think we have a caller online. We'll be surely meeting Iwish Kemwe. Yes, let me go to you, Lambert. What caught your attention in the papers?
Mr. Ebel, I want to first of all say that schools are resuming tomorrow on Monday, and one of the things that the papers have been talking about is this strike action to be taken by teachers as from tomorrow Monday. And I don't understand how the states keep talking about school resumption on Monday without satisfying the aspiration of teachers.
They're talking about the OTS movement, but we thought that the government said last year that everything will be regulated. Why is it still?
It's just a way to tell you that the state probably have not been respecting their engagement, and that is why teachers are going in on a strike action on Monday, because you'll be sending your child to school on Monday, and the child will not be taking part in any teaching, or the child will not receive any knowledge on Monday as a result of the strike action that is going on. I just wish to plead with the government, with the Ministry of Secondary Basic Education, to
those who are in charge of education in the country, higher education, basic,
the
secondary
aspiration of the teachers. I read somewhere that there are some teachers who have even gone on retirement, but they still have unpaid salaries, and they still have other dues that is supposed to be paid to them, and at this moment it's very bad. I don't know why should the government allow somebody for 10 years without paying his salary or paying his allowances and so on and so forth. It's very bad. Now I wish to talk also on the back to school campaign, and I discovered that the people who call themselves the leaders of the Ambazonians have always been intimidating, trying to
those are some of their methods,
trying to frighten the people living in the northwest and southwest not to send their children in school, and sponsoring the activities. I just wish to say to my people who are in the northwest and southwest that these people have been deceiving us for a very long time, because I don't want to be calling names, but I watched a video of somebody who called himself the leader of an Ambazonia.
Who made him the leader?
Who lives, I don't know, who lives in the United States.
Sometimes we question ourselves and ask a lot of questions.
Leaders emerge, they are not made.
He lives in the United States with his family, but he is dictating on when school will resume in Cameroon. I do not understand. And our people do accept, or our people, I will not say our people are accepting because they are afraid. Because I am afraid I send my child to school and something may happen to them. Yeah. Now, I just want to come back.
We cannot also risk the life of our teachers and all the
issue of Ali Bongo too.
It also interests
you. Yes, I wish to say that my brother here said that according to John Niba said he is not seeing it as a funny coup d'etat.
Yeah. Even interest is that somebody left this.
Most of the Gabonese, they will not be jubilating because actually there is a change. There is.
But it is the same Gabonese we saw them jubilating during the campaign period when he was dancing.
That is
and
why. That is why I'm saying that
he has come.
The Gabonese.
At one point, it's not that man is so funny.
The Gabonese,
actually, we don't know what man wants.
You see, we live in fear. I want to say we live in fear.
No, man is not funny. Please, let me just say something on that. He's not living in fear there. In Gabon and in Africa, there are people who are hungry and they accompany the person who has the yam and the knife at that particular moment.
Yeah.
If it is the junta now that has the yam and the knife, the same people who shouted for Bongo, who made some noise,
they will follow.
Will make the
Mr.
same noise for the junta.
I just wish to say that I saw people who were supporting Ali Bongo burning the flags, burning all those stuff, putting in the trash can. I saw it. I saw a video of that nature just of recent. So it shows that they are with the junta.
They were
but what I wish to say is that even though as of now I still see it, though I'm still to be convinced, I still see it as something that has been staged because
stage.
Because
why would somebody stage such a funny issue, bringing the whole country?
It's still very complex because if
but I said that. The preliminary results
were
not favorable.
Yes.
So the family don't want to lose everything.
The family does not want to lose everything.
And
they put somebody. I'm thinking it like that, or it can equally be
Mr.
staged by another person.
To have to solve the problem of our curiosity. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Let's give them a month or two.
We'll see what they will do. I love that. I love that ending. Time will tell. They say time is like pregnancy.
Because he is going to be swearing in tomorrow Monday. He's going to be swearing in. I hope you've seen the communique.
Who's going to
He's going to be swearing in under normal circumstances.
Sometimes swear juntas.
I think the National Assembly was dissolved. The Senate was dissolved. So who is going to swear him in? We are going to see.
That's what I'm saying. See, the Constitutional Council was suspended.
Yeah.
All
those structures.
But he is swearing in on Monday. That is why
we are going to see who is swearing in.
Maybe he will take oath on the military court.
They said that the Constitutional Council were going to take temporarily, but I am giving them 2 months.
Observe what is happening in Gabon. We are going to look for time in this program to talk about Gabon where we have enough information. Yes, I don't know what caught your attention, my brother, that you think that we can share rapidly for the week.
Abel, really no big
because we want to talk about education.
Really no big deal, huh?
No big deal.
Yes.
The Gabon situation is not big deal to you.
No, it's not. Why am I saying not big deal? Because Mr. John Niba has really touched. He has gone a little bit in depth on the situation, and some call it a wind of change blowing across Africa. Meanwhile, others call it a form of hidden in slavery. Why? Because I believe that a scholar once told me that we are talking of what? Restructuring the world.
They call it the new world order.
Thank you. And geopolitically speaking, we are ignorant. Why? Because we think that Africa is liberating itself from French imperialism. But according to the New World Order, according to the hidden government that we don't even see, we don't know, but who are working behind the scenes, France is permitting. Why? Because France is acting according to higher instructions. And the restructuring goes in such a way that Russia has to get all the colonies France acquired in Africa.
But you also have not talked about the situation
exactly,
in
but
Gabon.
it's a process in the making.
Because what baffled my attention?
So it calls for another debate.
Now, gentlemen, what baffled me that I'm still trying to understand, and maybe most of our listeners also, is the French statement saying that French intelligence report says that the family, the wife and the son were beating the president. Where were the presidential guards? Where were the humility of the president? Why wait when he had been
presidential guards, Abel?
The French intelligence is coming up.
No.
And all the like. I don't understand.
The presidential guards are men in uniform too. And if men in uniform are taking powers, those presidential guards will not go and be protecting the president.
The aspect that the French intelligence report says that Ali was being beaten by the wife and the son time and again.
We saw Ali. Ali said he was arrested. Ali never said he was beaten. And let me say something. Let me say something. When you look at the video, sorry, Mr. Marshall, Ali Bongo, President Ali Bongo is not new. He was not talking to Gabonese because he knows Gabonese. 90% they don't understand English, and he decided to speak in English. Neither was he talking to anybody in Central Africa. We could think that he was talking to maybe those in the common world, because 2 years back, President Ali Bongo took Gabon to join the Commonwealth. We saw him in Britain when he met with Boris Johnson.
Adopting English as one of the
when you are going in for the Commonwealth, it's not just the language, it's the culture, the mentality too. And France will not like that so much.
Okay.
And when President Bongo decided to cry out for help in English, some of us saw it as an outright rejection of France, a way of accusing France being behind things that are happening in his country. And that he was calling on Anglo-Saxon countries and especially the Commonwealth to pull some strings in the background.
To make some noise.
That is how we interpret it. If not, President Bongo has no reason to address his own Gabonese in English.
And Abel, in line with what Mr. John Deba is saying, you see, there are analyses. Is that the case of Gabon? It might even be that France is still behind it.
Yes, and Reverend, please, if you permit.
Behind it, because
that's why
just giving an analysis which might look as the president.
Let's just
that's why I'm saying that.
We'll see how the information.
That is why I'm saying that this is a hidden because please, if you discover, you notice that France has one of the strongest military base of France is found in Gabon. So if France wanted to intervene at any time, they will intervene. So that is why I'm saying that this coup d'etat, or whether we call it coup d'etat, is still hidden.
Let's take this publicity.
It has an hidden agenda.
Let's just give time for it.
Back to school 2023-2024. Welcome to Bisai University Institute. At the Bisai University Institute, register now and benefit from studies and training programs. Our specialties are attached to the BTS, HND cycles, bachelor's degree, master's and professional training certificates. The best students from the different specialties will be recruited directly into all the enterprises of Group Renapo Finance SE and those of its partners enterprises. The number of places per specialty is limited. Opening date October 16, 2023 at our campus located at Garage des Chevaux near the Presidential Guard in Yaoundé. Contact us at 693-930231. Bisai University Institute, simply created for your well-being.
Rentrée académique 2023-2024, bienvenue à l'Institut universitaire Bisai. À l'Institut universitaire Bisai, inscrivez-vous dès maintenant et bénéficiez des programmes d'études. Nos filières sont arrimées au cycle BTS, HND, licence, master et formation professionnelle. Les majors des différentes filières seront directement recrutés au sein de toutes les entreprises du groupe Renapro Finance SA et celles des entreprises partenaires. Le nombre de places par spécialité est limité. Rentrée académique le lundi 16 octobre 2023 au campus Garage 2 Chevaux à proximité de la gare présentielle à Yaoundé. Contactez-nous au 693 93 02 31. L'Institut universitaire Bisai, créé tout simplement pour votre savoir-être.
And thank you. Back, this is the program Topics and Realities coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM. We talk about our main topic. Our main topic is to talk about the education. We started last week. We are rounding, or we are continuing. I could not say we are rounding up. And today we are going. Schools are supposed to start on Monday. John Niba, you are a parent. Likewise, Shea Lambert, Pastor Agbon Masha. Let me take first of all this caller online. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, it's Bella Wika.
Yes, Bella. It has been a while.
Yes, I'm just trying to say what you say concerning the French intelligence officers who said to Macron that Bongo was being tortured, beaten, and he was not given food. They even abandoned him. The wife was staying in a different house in Gabon, while the child also was staying elsewhere, and Bongo elsewhere. And what worries much is that when Macron asked Bongo to receive the African force that left Dakar to Gabon to attack Niger, Gabon refused them. So those are most of the causes that led the coup of Gabon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for that contribution. You too can do the same. 671157321, 658089125, 620377481. Those are different access codes. We'll come back to our main topic. We are talking about the 2023-2024 academic year in Cameroon. John Niba, how prepared are we for school to start on Monday?
We is big.
We, the parents.
Thank you very much.
Let me first of all start from there.
We, the parents, the preparation cannot be homogeneous because in Cameroon, resources are distributed in such a way that some people can actually lord it over the others. For them, education is not a problem. Do you know that there are parents that when they enter the school, they pay everything at once? Yeah. They take the book list, buy everything. A book like a dictionary that you can use for a particular from Form 1 to Form 5.
They buy it every year.
Buy every year. And then when the year ends, they throw the bags with the old books in the dustbin. Whereas you and I will pick the old book, we try to gum it to see whether you can use it. Has government brought it back in the program? Has this? And then we start changing it in the library. So the preparation cannot be the same. But the truth
varies from individual to another, from
according to your financial
strength, because we
and
have
then how organized too.
We have some parents whose school fees for their children alone can send an entire 5 or 4 children to school. So all those things, you are very correct.
That is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so, but the reality is that on the 4th, many Cameroonians will go to school.
Okay.
But the truth is that not all of them will be able to go to school. Not all Cameroonians will be able to go to school. As if I'm talking on my behalf as John Iba, well, my children will go to school with the barest minimum. I'm a teacher. I have 4 children directly looking at me. Those ones that direct, because in Africa the responsibility is shared to cousins and all that. But I have 4. They will be going to school on Monday.
4 strong Cameroonians.
They will go to school on Monday, thanks to the fact that I'm a teacher, and when I entered the schools, I was unable. Remember, in one school, they told me that the registration is 40,000, and the first installment is 90,000, and you have to drop it at once, 130,000 francs, before the child begins school on Monday. So I started shouting that I myself am a teacher. We are in the basic education. We send you people, children here. You people cannot treat my child like that. Before they say, okay, come now, let's. But if I wasn't a teacher, my daughter would not go there, because the conditions are like that. And you see that in that case, government needs to do something. It is true, it is a private school, right? But why am I going to the private school? My daughter is doing technical education. I live in Yaoundé 4. If you enter Yaoundé 4, the only technical school is what they call a college technique, lycée technique de Kunu.
Is it bilingual?
No. Not bilingual.
It's not.
There
is no government technical school around Yaoundé.
Bilingual technical. No. So you see,
in Yaoundé,
not satisfy them.
Technical education.
I live in Biteng, Eber, and this school I'm even going to plead and beg is located around Tropicana. Can you calculate? My daughter, who is barely going up to 12 years, she's going to Form 2.
Living Biteng to Tropicana.
She will be taking taxi from Biteng to Tropicana, passing through Hawaii with the traffic jam to that place and coming back. I have another son who is schooling at another school at Carrefour de l'Amitié. Leaving Biteng and coming there is also a technical school. But now the one at Carrefour de l'Amitié does not have food and nutrition that my daughter is offering. That's why I'm going further to check. No, I don't want to do publicity for school. In the house, I connect the wires. If a pipe is broken, I fix it, and I keep on going like that. Even if they were to extend the school going period, in order to fuse those two, because the children that do only general education, we have seen that they have been bypassed, especially those who do art subjects. There is the government. Everybody will not be looking on the public service. You'll be able to become autonomous. You become like Nigeria, where you leave school, you open your own enterprise, and you are the boss, and you employ other people.
Okay.
That is why my daughter and my son,
Hey Lambert, Monday, how prepared are you as a teacher who got the side of the parent?
The private schools, where there is much pressure on the teacher than on any other person. You have to prepare your lessons, and sometimes they impose some materials which they themselves will not provide it to you, so you have to get it yourself. I should be ready for Monday.
Now, John Deba just says something which is a fundamental problem in our education, and we are looking at education, the aspect of technical and grammar education. Some say we should not distinguish between the two, because likewise, as we need technicians, we also need the grammar people. But how can you explain the fact that lesser number of technical educations are found in our community, greater number of grammar educations are found in our society? We have more paper tigers than technocrats in Cameroon.
Yes, Abel, I've listened to many debates, and I got to discover that some people always attribute the fact that we do not have technical schools to our colonial masters, because they came here to blindfold us with this general education something, why in their own areas they are focused on technical education and they are developed more than us right now. I am tempted to think in that same direction, but I wish to say that our Cameroon government too have somehow neglected the technical education, because I do not understand why in Yaoundé there should be just one technical school. In Bamenda, where I think in Bamenda
before the crisis we had a lot of them.
Yeah, we have technical schools in Bamenda, and presently
so many of them.
Yes, and
in my village,
presently
in Bafut,
I think they should be
government-owned technical schools.
Yes, government-owned technical schools.
I remember when I was schooling even in
presently, I tried to do some findings, because I wanted to send somebody in technical school in Bamenda. I discovered that there are 2 technical schools being operational right now. Yes, due to
anyway, the one in my village may go operational since 2016, because I watch videos of villagers clearing it this time. GTC in Djibouti in the heart of Bafut. So since 2016,
I don't know,
been in the forest.
I'm tempted to think that all these technical schools were not opened by our present government, because if we in Yaoundé,
but at least they give the decree. They sign the
in
decree
Yaoundé, if in Yaoundé we could not have such technical schools, then I should be giving credit to our colonial masters who took over the northwest and southwest for making everything possible. But now let me come, Abel. I want to also focus on the preparations on the parents, because I experienced another thing in one of the school I teach in. I was in school, we were working on a timetable, and after which we left the school and we were about to go to our various homes. One old grandmother came in, and when the grandmother was coming, she was holding a basket of this puff. She was walking and selling, and when I saw the woman entering the school, I was like, this woman, in my mind I was like, I hope you are not coming to ask for a register. You don't want to ask for anything as to register your child in this school, because this one you cannot, because the school fees there from high. 1 upward is 250. So when I saw the woman, I saw the way she was, and she came and was soliciting for a place to sell in that school,
the canteen,
and in the canteen, yes. And when I look at the woman, if she is still bothering to know where I should sell to have the little that I can have to send my children to school, do you think that woman will be prepared to send a child to school? I still want to come back. You see, I have experienced a lot of things with respect to education in Yaoundé, most especially. I remember 2 years back when I wanted to send some of my nephews and the rest in lycée. In lycée, building the source, they will tell you needed to buy a place, and to buy a place is not less than 100,000 francs.
Bringing the aspect of corruption.
Yes, you go to Lycée de Kounou, they tell you that you have to pay a place, and to pay a place.
But the officials, they don't tell you.
It is a system that has been put in place. They will not tell you openly, but you might even go there.
And they don't give you any receipt for buying the place.
Yes,
so you don't have any proof against them.
You will even go there and your child, they conduct an interview, and the list of your child will not even come. These parents that I'm talking about, who to integrate in such institutions. So why will it be so difficult? Why will the state not take time to investigate these principals who are managing this institution to ensure that they do
let me add water in what he's saying. It is not investigation that will do the job. Let me tell you why there is that corruption.
That is the question I wanted to ask you.
Because that corruption,
we have seen cases where parents are complaining. Some even do have the money, but now they don't even know who to enter. And sometimes they find themselves, because you find a chain of individuals who will even extort the money from you, and finally you will not even have a place.
Let me answer the worry.
Yeah,
you will bear with me that back in the northwest and southwest where we school, we never had such corruption.
You will not even hear such a thing.
It is not because we can say that yes, people we brag that the Anglophones are more morally stronger than the other people here, but don't forget that the principals we have here are also English speaking, manning the Anglophone sections of the schools now. So what is the problem is that the number of children that we send out from class 6 to enter into these secondary schools in Form 1, there are no schools. There are no schools. For example, let me give you an example.
In terms of accommodation,
for 1 year, you will see that we send out 900 children who want to enter in Lycée Bilenge Ekunu. How can 900 children enter Form 1?
Now,
in that case, the parents must buy.
Why not simply reject?
But if government were to build more schools, not investigating,
that is what I'm coming.
Put enough teachers in these schools. Good. Because there is, for example, Lycée de Mimoman, there is enough space. There is enough space where many other infrastructures can
be added,
and many classes will be included.
Now,
why then allow parents to suffer?
Now we have two major problems which is evolving from our school milieu. One, at the time when we preach emergence, where we say we need to produce or consume what we produce, we find it that the number of technical schools is very limited, and even the grammar schools also are very, very limited. Meanwhile, we have a decentralization process which gives back education to the community in terms of the councils. What is stopping the councils to create some of these schools? For example, a neighborhood, like let me say a Mobo, should have at least 3 government schools, at least 1 technical school, because they will tell you that technical school is expensive. You bring education very closer to the children.
Thank you.
This will be able to help, 1, fight against corruption, 2, even fight against some of these ills we have in our society. You people of the governance, you study the governance. What is stopping the government? Why is the government reluctant to be able to create some of these schools? You see students living from Swa to school in a technical school, government technical school, Tukebe, and all the like. They intercross.
Abel, you see, time and again we've discussed several legal issues here concerning what the political scene of the country.
Yeah.
You talk of decentralization, and it is well stated in our constitution, but it is very fortunate that in practice we still
unfortunate.
Thank you. Very unfortunate that in practice we still experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
When we talk of deconcentration, we are talking of what? A partial reduction of power from the top to the periphery.
When we talk delegating some
powers. Delegating. But when we talk of decentralization, we're talking about a total shift. And he who functions in a decentralized setting will not be dependent. And so his actions too will be fluent, and it will serve the people. But he who functions based on power delegation will work and will still be conscious of the fact that he is being monitored somewhere. And when you have that impression that you are being monitored, it limits your scope of action. That is the problem. And this is not only in the political, economical, but in the educational sector. And second thing, Abel, it is still unfortunate. Why? Because this is not only an issue in Cameroon, but in Africa, especially Central Africa and French Sub-Saharan Africa, with our educational system. Why am I saying so? You see, the Europeans are developed. They are grown industries. There are big economists. Why? Because they give access to professionalism. Professionalism is the reason why Europe is what it is today. Professionalism is the reason why Japan is a major economy today. But yeah, there is more of general studies,
social sciences,
the social and the humanities sciences. So elaborate theory upon theory, but at the level of practice, we give less attention. That is why I am happy with the IUB, Institute Université Bissau, who is coming up with an innovative way of what? Training students, 80% practice, 20% theory. That is professionalism. And I believe that God will always seek for a person. There is nothing like distinguishing between the private or the public sector. It is here that we still have that problem. In the USA, be it a private university or a government university, they all contribute to the well-being of the society and they work hand in glove. But here you always have that impression that because it's a government structure, it always dictates, it monitors and seeks to what? Suppress. And talking of training,
some of them even go in for those subjects, and then it is so funny to me when I hear over the radio they tell them that the children this year will write in history and not in geography at the eve of the exam. It's so funny.
In the francophone system, yeah.
And even when a child goes in for 15 subjects, class 3, class 4, class 5, you see, it disturbs. Why? Because I believe each and every one of us, we have skills, we have potentials, we have talents. But those skills and potentials are to be monitored from a tender age.
Yeah.
And we should avoid what? Saturation. The Europeans, they have a different system. When they identify you with a talent or a skill, they create a department or they create a field of study in it. And that is professionalism we're talking about. That is why there you are a specialist in a domain and you are really good in it. But here it's not the case. Why? Because we feel we want to do everything and our knowledge becomes what? Vague.
Okay.
Our knowledge becomes partial.
Let me find out something from you, Lambert and John Deba. We have also discovered that the lack of this institution, the lack of creation of schools, has brought in a very serious problem within our educational system, that of clandestine schools. Clandestine schools have been created, even in marshy area. Even some exist on papers, they don't have structures. And year in, year out, the government will tell us that they are fighting against clandestine school from July or from June to October. But in November, the process ends and you see these schools going up. Why these so many clandestine schools and we don't see them coming to?
You sum up everything now, we may be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Good. But now they are broken down into small branches.
Yeah.
That's why you will still be hearing. When did you hear history? No, because it's found under social studies. History now and geography and citizenship, they have been grouped under what we call social studies. We call them components. Talk about technological engineering. They were not trained when they first of all, when we were behind the benches, we never had any notions on that. When we went to training school, that idea never came. Now it's a scam. It is true that during seminars they are struggling to reinforce.
Is that enough?
Even writers. No, you cannot stop the country and start it from zero. Instead, let me tell you here, Abel, they don't attend seminars for free. They still tell you that, okay, government is not asking money from you, but we need chairs. We need a sound system. And the schools will still put their hand in the pocket to give a token. I call it a token because if you compare it with what you gain, your teachers gain. If schools were to pay resource people to come and train their teachers, they will pay more. 100,000 francs for the 2 days. Now for a seminar, they will ask a school to come and give 10,000 for the whole year because there are many schools and some proprietors of schools think that they are over asking. So, talking about clandestine schools, Abel, my take on that, I've always said, the idea of clandestine schools keeps coming up because some people have made it their fertile grounds where they go each time and take bundles of money. And they don't want those schools to actually close down because they'll be blocking. It's expensive than to obtain the papers. Schools that are in risk zones automatically should be closed down. They should not only be closed down, but they should be shattered, demolished. Schools that are built with substandard materials and they don't respect the norms should equally be demolished. But schools that are well constructed, respecting the dimension, but they lack some papers, should for no good reason be closed down. Because if government wants those schools to have the papers, they will have them in less than no time. Are you getting us? They cannot tell me that the signature that is difficult is what? I prepare every paper and come down to your school with it. You are only signing. You are the patron. We call you, the head teacher will call you and inform you that the people from the regional delegation are here. They are waiting for you to come and sign these papers. They are not going back. You can prepare everything and come down with it. The other details that are missing, you sign. You have the papers. To go and close down a school that has cost hundreds of millions because the person did not have autorisation de vertu, arrêté de création. Those things, they are not logical. But those schools that are in danger zones, those schools that are built with power, the proprietor may easily run with parents' money.
For registration?
Looking at the time they are closing the school, he may run with the money.
That is the most important thing they are looking for.
Yes, because he has...
Not even the school fees, the registration.
It's not only some school. You are talking about registration because you still naively think that schools take registration. Let me tell you, I just told you here that they told me that I have to pay registration and pay first installment, and it is above 100 or 100 in other schools. Schools don't still naively take you have 10,000 francs registration that you should come back after. They don't take the first installment and registration are paid at the same time. So if you look at it, it's not registration. If your school is still doing that, you thank the proprietor of that place. It's lenient. But now we think that if the ministries accompany these proprietors of schools, especially when government does not have enough schools, rather than closing them, there are many clandestine churches and bars. Nobody is closing a drinking.
As some authorities do not want these schools to close down because it is an area or a good source of income for them. I just want to also bring out something I experienced.
Yes.
I'm very sorry that I've been bringing.
Can we just take this publicity?
Okay.
Back to school 2023-2024. Welcome to Bisai University Institute. Thanks to its transdiscipline and experimental approach, which combine training and competence, benefit from our studies and training programs backed by 80% of practice within all the enterprises of Guberenapo Finance SA and 20% of theory in order to enable you better equip and to become a true pillar capable of providing added values in the professional environment. At the Bisai University Institute, mutualists who are students or parents who are mutualists with the mutual assistance specialty is limited. Opening date October 16, 2023 at our campus located at Garage des Chevaux near the Presidential Guard in Yaoundé. Contact us at 693-930231. Bisai University Institute, simply created.
Rentrée académique 2023-2024, bienvenue à l'Institut universitaire Bisai. Son approche transdisciplinaire et espérentielle qui commande formation et compétences. Bénéficiez de nos programmes d'études et de formation adossés à 80% de pratique au sein de toutes les entreprises du groupe Renapro Finance SA et de 20% de théorie afin de vous permettre d'être mieux outillés et de devenir un véritable pilier capable d'apporter de la valeur ajoutée dans le milieu professionnel. Les étudiants mutualistes ou parents de mutualistes de la MASO bénéficient d'une réduction de 20%. Le nombre de places par spécialité est limité. Rentrée académique le lundi 16 octobre 2023 au campus Garage 2 Chevaux à proximité de la gare présentielle à Yaoundé. Contactez-nous au 693 93 02 31. L'Institut universitaire Bisai, créé tout simplement pour votre savoir-être.
Thank you very much. Our numbers are 671157321, 671157321, 658089125, 6207481. We meet some callers that you can call. as of now. Yes, you were saying something.
Yes, I was saying that, adding my voice to that of Mr. John Neba, that the reason why these schools are not being closed down is simply because some regional inspectors make it as a source of income. And I was trying to say that I have experienced and something. You would discover that
regional inspectors makes it a source of income.
Yes, yeah. You would discover that this year, the threat to close down clandestine school only came some weeks to the start of the school year.
Yeah, apparently.
And the reason why it is starting, I think that the reason why it started late is simply because they want to put pressure on the people who are operating this school to pay in huge amount of money to operate. That is why, because I don't understand, we have had 3 months of holidays, and even before the 3 months, the authorities would have been in organization, and now the only wait to start at this particular time is simply because they want to pressurize the founders of these schools to pay in huge. I have worked in an institution. That school was it's a primary school that was authorized, but they were operating a secondary school that was not authorized. I worked in that school in 2017, 2018, and they were operating a secondary school that was not authorized.
Yeah.
And anytime inspectors came into the school, they came in, the founder would take, on that particular day the inspector is coming, they will call and inform that they will be coming. Something which is not even supposed to be done. The founder will prepare good food for them.
No, it's supposed to be done.
Yeah,
Inspection is not supposed to be a surprise.
Let me just come.
Okay.
The inspector will prepare good food, and when they come,
very delicious,
they will sit down there and consume the food and leave that school without even coming up to check whatever is going on there. Just to tell you that this is a system that people have used to make money.
Also cook food up there.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, I have experienced it I've worked in that school for 3 years.
If you want them to climb up.
I worked in that school for 3 years, and I understood that's what. I remember one day they came.
Don't climb the stairs.
I remember one
downstairs. That's why the people after eating they're heavy.
I remember one year.
But it is not an impact on our education.
I was teaching in a class, and the founder sent somebody who was a veteran of that school, a doyen of that school. He came to class, stopped all the teachers from teaching, gathered all the students from one right up to opposite. All these students left out of the school and went.
They escaped first.
Yes, and they were strolling in a field around. It is only after I discovered that the reason why they did that is because the inspector surprisingly came.
Maybe a new inspector.
Yes. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. This is, I don't know if it is simply because the government is not paying much attention, but I not have laid down the procedure to create such an institution.
No, they are there.
No, let me just say it might be there. It is. Let us say it is there. I know that it is there, but it may be so complex. And the reason why they are making it complex is simply because they want the authority to still benefit something from it. So you see, at the end of the day, you see that it is the system itself that is corrupt. So if we have clandestine school in Cameroon, we may always start blaming the authorities before even coming down to the local man or to the operator or the stakeholder of this particular institution. Let me just say the government stands to be blamed first before we bring it down, because you will not understand a reason why for you to create a school. What does it take? Do you need to put on an infrastructure first before going for an authorization? Why will you give an authorization to somebody who do not have the required infrastructure? And why will you refuse an authorization to somebody who has the infrastructure and everything to operate? I am therefore saying what Mr. John Neba, I'm already buying his
some people
idea.
are even saying that there are some government schools that also needs to be closed down.
I am buying Mr.
Many
Neba.
of them, some of them are under trees, Abel.
See,
they are under trees.
Yes.
Some of them snakes enter the class and the children drop. They are there in the center region. We are not even talking about far north and other places.
Neba,
and the government is not seeing those ones to close.
Mr. John Neba, I wish to buy your idea by saying that schools private schools most especially, because here we are talking about private schools because the government are
there's no close government schools.
Yes, private schools which have the required infrastructure, I don't see any reason why they should not give them authorization. The government do not even have enough schools for Cameroonians. Why then do you close schools that have the capacity to host as many students as possible? So why should you close it down?
Accompany the school to have the necessary papers.
The school. Why not even subsidize schools which are trying to produce or go in for technical education? This one will help.
Now,
given that we do not have technical schools in Cameroon, why not just use the infrastructure of these schools and operate technical? For example, let me just take, I have a school, I will just call the name, the Prestige Bilingual Complex at Mimboman. I teach there. It is having one of the most outstanding infrastructure in Yaoundé 4. Why not go there and plead with the institution to operate a technical school, and you finance it? You can send teachers there and they operate a technical school.
And in a win-win partnership. Now, yes. Marshall, a comparative study was done on this issue of clandestine school in our newsroom, and we discovered that for the past 3 years, there's some particular
schools that keep coming up
that their name is having the permanent position.
They are the landlords.
Each time the list of clandestine schools comes out, they're among the first 10. Each time the name of the clandestine schools comes out, they're among the first 10. And they tell us that they have been closed down. Why is it effective in this closing down?
They have been closed down but still operating indirectly. Or closed down.
And sometimes some changes name.
Exactly.
You see, they can say St. John Niba primary names and secondary school. The next day they come and put Niba John. They just change the name.
Abel, you should know that this clandestine issue is felt in every domain in our society.
We have seen journalists who were suspended by the National Communication Council. They never even changed their names, but they were still on the same program.
With our traveling agencies, we have clandestine traveling agencies. In politics, and now the funny thing is what? Is where lies the problem is we find politics influence in every sphere, in every domain. Politics interferes in education.
Tribalism, nepotism.
Politics interferes in the economy. Politics interferes in business and all the rest. So what you are saying is only repeating itself at all levels. If maybe we have a solid backup from a given baron or from a this or that, you will resurface because it's a matter of who covers you, who protects you, who backs you up. That is the truth. But in a true democratic setting, lockdown.
So what is the impact?
You don't feature again to resurface for any form of profit.
What is the impact of these clandestine schools, of corruption, of lack of more adequate schools, for example?
All of the panelists have contributed to enforce our education system.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but what I wish to ask is that this question. In Yaoundé, let's take Yaoundé, we don't really have the statistics of the inhabitants in Yaoundé. How can we that government has in Yaoundé too? We have Madagascar and we have Chinga.
Yeah.
I don't really know how do they evaluate that the citizens here, they need 10 school or 15 schools. And from there, that is where we have to proceed that for you to be, we have to, at least if there are 10,000 teachers, so that it should at least take all the students that are in Yaoundé too.
Okay. So for what you are saying, for what you are saying, that the absence of a population census is one of the reasons why the government cannot actually know the number of schools they should come out with.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's still the government that is coming back at the same spot that we have clandestine, because you cannot come and operate a business where you don't have customers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abel. I want to
have to sit up and see the normal population that the government is having to educate, because really government is saying that we have free basic education, but we don't really have the schools that.
Thank you. We got your question. We got your question. Yes.
Reacting to the caller.
Yes.
The government knows the statistics.
The statistics of the number of children.
Yes.
Or the number of schools.
The number of children first.
Okay.
we are giving them, because they pass around, we give statistics every day. There is what they call carte scolaire in French, like a school roadmap in every subdivision, in every division. We fill and we give them. The government can estimate the number of children, and it is the government that is authorizing, that is creating government schools. The government knows the proportion. They know that a teacher is supposed to handle this, a classroom is supposed to hold this number. The government knows. It is a matter of lack of will that the government is not putting up the necessary structures, and there's a big problem when government is tampering with the educational system.
Mr. Eben,
yes,
I wish to also point out something with respect to the creation of schools in Yaoundé 4, for example. Anglo-Saxon system of education. In Yaoundé 4, you discover that you have barely 3 schools. For primary schools, I wish to say,
government primary schools.
You have Kundungubida. I want to call my attention on Kundungubida.
Rapidly, because
that is where I finished my primary school in Kundungubida.
Okay.
In a very disastrous Carabao school where parents pass and see students go to the market and they are seeing their student in a classroom. Which even as we speak right now, that infrastructure is still very scattered.
No, the infrastructure is not there. The infrastructure is not there, but there is some type of building which is not modern,
does not make sense.
Which does not make sense to me too. I've been seeing it.
The office of the head HM there,
but they are still constructing it. They are still constructing it.
The government is doing something.
And the HM may be complaining to those who put her there.
Yes.
But I think they are constructing. Nkondongumida is under construction.
Mr. Eben, I also want to say we were talking about school resumption, and I was saying something with touristic express.
No, we'll come to that.
How will somebody even go to school?
No, we'll come to that. Let us look at the impact rapidly.
The impact of clandestine schools can just be that it can be assumed that they recruit teachers that are not qualified, because since they cannot be traced.
Yes,
it is assumed that they cannot also be inspected properly.
Yes.
I'm saying it is assumed because people in the ministry know those schools.
Yes.
So we are just assuming that the report does not get to the ministers, because the people who know those schools will continue to hide those schools to eat behind. So that's the first thing. And if you don't inspect the school, they cannot have qualified teachers. But these schools, like we have said, they are private and lay private schools. In that case, if they don't teach well, parents will remove their children from those schools. So there is a way that they must do their work. Even they must recruit good teachers, because they are private schools and parents can easily remove their children from there. If not, another impact is that immediately the schools are closed, many parents may lose the school fee they have paid, and then children may need to cover long distances before they have school.
School is starting on Monday. What message do you have for teachers?
For teachers, I don't know which teachers you are talking about, but I begin with government teachers. That's civil servants.
Teachers in general.
Okay, teachers in general. I think we are teachers, and we are teachers because we do our job. I think we should go back to school and show the goodwill to government that we have started work, and work up to a certain time, and see whether government is also going to equate the goodwill with goodwill. If the government does not show any goodwill, I think sometime in the middle of the year we can actually break again and remind government that we have grievances. But let us go back to school on Monday.
Yes.
I was saying that with this clandestine school, one of the impact is that we may have violence in this school. You see, because TOS is to make use of the services of the law enforcement agents, and since they are hidden, they do not respect certain credentials. So
rapidly, your message for teachers as we start to school on Monday. We are moving out of time. Jean Marie Anaba is already here.
Okay, if from as far as my message is concerned to teachers, I just wish to say that I'm talking most especially to those of the private sector. That let them.
You spoke to the government.
I know things are very difficult, but we should do our job as it is supposed to be done. We should not always look at the pay package that is being given to us, even though the pay package is one of the motivating factors.
Look at the love.
But
the Minister of Basic Education started something this year on private schools. But the minister at the end of that meeting never communicated to us what he said there. So we are pleading with Minister Laurent Etinungwa to tell us what was discussed on our behalf in the lay private and in the private sectors, because we're very interested interested in it, and we were very happy that he even thought of us.
And I also wish to plead that let the Ministry of Secondary Education stop influencing the GC board.
Thank you very much, Sheila Lambert, for coming.
Let teachers
Jean Marie Anaba.
We cannot be teaching and
thank you, Lambert. Thank you, Lambert. Yes, it's a pleasure for us to welcome you. On peut sortir.
No problem.
Le pays est debout.
No problem. Cameroon is not Gabon.
Cameroon is not Gabon. So about Metro Politique, we have come to the end of registration for into the voters list, and I strongly believe that is one of the things we are going to talk about.
Oui, je voudrais résumer en disant simplement que l'élection a mal tourné au Gabon parce que les règles de jeu n'ont pas été respectées. Donc il faut